Happy Sunday. We are at Sunday. What is the date today? 28th? 28th? Huh. Yeah. Time is flying. We're almost at August, right? So we're at the end of July 2024. This is the Social Security Roundup for the week of the 22nd to the 27th. Now, of course, on the 21st, we had last week's Social Security Roundup for the prior week. I think that'll probably be tacked on here in case you missed that. But for now, let's just go through the week and see what went on in case anybody missed anything they're going to want to tag. Okay, so on the 22nd, which was Monday, this was a little takeaway from a real life ALJ hearing I just had. And it was kind of like an in-action display of how things will go now that we have the new 5-year past relevant work rule versus the 15-year rule, which just ended in June of 2024. It's a beautiful thing. So we go into a little bit of that because I just had a hearing where that became relevant. And it's going to be relevant for so much more, of course. On July 23rd, that would be Tuesday, I gave a little synopsis share. A colleague of mine gives more detailed shares of certain case laws that come down in different circuits that are going to be relevant to claimants in a usable way, perhaps. So I only share those, not so much the ones that are very more technical and not really usable by a claimant if they're out and about on their own. Okay, so this one was the example of when you get your doctor's opinion about how limited you are in X, Y, or Z areas, and your doctor maybe is kind enough to do it. Doesn't mean it's going to help you win your case. And this synopsis that which was in the 10th Circuit and came out in June of 2024, kind of explains what those medical opinions of our treating providers have to do to gain some weight and be helpful. Talk is cheap, as they say. So it's almost like the opinion has to walk the walk of the treatment records. The 24th, so that would be Wednesday. Oh yeah, this was part 1. Part 2, potentially a part 3 will be coming out. Just have to get some time. There's a new work history report that came out for June of 2024, and I think it came on the heels or in conjunction with that new past relevant work rule change from the 5 years to from the 15 years to the 5 years. And they have a whole new work history report. You're going to find a lot of different questions. I think it's really good that they do this because this was the kind of stuff that after the work history report was submitted, if you hadn't in an unsolicited way provided these details, which we had learned over time, you best do it, even though they don't ask for it, you're going to have to be explaining it later. So now they actually have them in the work history report. So it's probably a good thing. But if you don't know how to answer them, it could be a bad thing for you. So as I always say, a work history report to me is one of the most important pieces of information you give to the SSA, particularly if you're over 50. And you could actually blow your whole case if your work history report was not done well. It's worth investing the time to make sure it is done properly and that you know what every question means from a legal perspective, not from a in your head perspective. Okay, that was the 24th, Wednesday. So now we have Thursday, the 25th. Oh yeah, something going on that day. In fact, I still have to reach out again to my client and find out what the choice is going to be. This is the dilemma that a lot of people will face. Do I file a new application if I get denied by the ALJ, or do I file an appeal to the Appeals Council? We go into a little bit on that. It's a difficult decision if you have options. Sometimes you have options, you can choose. It's still difficult. Other times you don't have an option. So take a listen to that one if you are heading to ALJ hearing. Okay, Friday the 26th, we had the Friday fraud law review. This was an organ donor scam. It's pretty bad. It's weird, it's you got some sympathies going on, but then you don't really have sympathies going on because, you know, it's really stealing from another. That was Friday, and it was in Iowa for all you Iowans out there. Okay, the 27th was Saturday, yesterday, must do. This is about your medications and a trifecta of what can make really good evidence with regard to medications, but you have to do it. And there's things you're going to want to avoid not doing. So don't be slacky on this. Medications are very, very, very important pieces of evidence in many cases. Okay, there we go, guys. That's it for the week. Hope you all had a good one. I hope you have an excellent one coming up. I am actually in North Carolina and will be going back to Central PA. I think, yeah, Monday, right? Well, I'll probably be in Virginia or West Virginia tomorrow, and then Central PA. And then at the end of the week, over the weekend, I'll be back in Northeast PA. So it's a real traveling time, but it kind of gets my head out of the Northeast PA craziness. And I get to focus a little bit more on other things. Fortunately, my kids are old enough to be left with grandma. One of them drives, so they can have a few days to themselves. And we just have to, what do you call it? Rule from afar for several days. And grandma, to the extent she would ever, discipline, is there. All right. I will chat with you all later. I hope you have a great week. Bye now. So you just listened to the week's roundup of all 7 days right behind us and what those video tips were. Are you concerned if you didn't necessarily catch the ones from the week prior to that? Don't worry, we're going to attach it right here. Have a great week, guys. Bye. Happy Sunday. Okay, let's go over what happened. This is the Social Security roundup for the week last week. Just a little summary here for you in case you missed any of them. This would be the 15th through the 20th of July, 2024. On Monday, what did we talk about? Oh, yeah. There had been some questions posed, so we went over them. My thoughts about it. It was questions regarding ALJs. And, there's conceptions out there that people have. Some people that ALJs are anti-claimant, that they feel superior to claimants or think claimants are beneath them, or that if a claimant doesn't have a representative, that means they have a bad case. So we go over those conceptions and I give you my take on it. So I don't know what y'all think, but that's my opinion on those. On Tuesday, the 16th, yeah, we went over the recent SSA news that 114 occupations that previously made up the 12,000 or so occupations that the SSA relies upon in the Dictionary of Occupational Titles, that these 114 jobs would no longer be considered existing in significant numbers in the economy, and therefore someone cannot be held to be able or not disabled because of an ability to do one of these jobs. That would be at step 5. So is it a positive? Yes, technically it is. But I have some thoughts about how useful it's going to be. So take a listen if that interests you. On the 17th, this was someone's question that we were addressing, wanting to know if the SSA is going to order records that were born before they applied. And we go into what records the SSA will order and what they largely will not order. So take a listen if that's important to you. On the 18th, this was, there's a little tip about what to know about an unsuccessful work attempt if you tried to work before you applied and it failed within, the standard 6-month period that allows something to be considered potentially an unsuccessful work attempt, also called a failed work attempt. And what has to nonetheless be done in order to be able to use that unsuccessful work attempt to your benefit. It can also apply to people who have pending claims. And in theory, it can also apply to those technically who already are beneficiaries, but in a little bit of a different way. Friday fraud law review. Yeah, this was a bad acting lawyer. Well, he's a disbarred lawyer from Ohio. I think we had a previous report on this, perhaps when he was charged, but now he's been convicted, and they go through all of the various ID thefts he engaged in, as he sought to continue to practice law and be paid handsomely for it, despite being disbarred. And of course, it's landing him in a lot of hot water. Okay, and then Saturday, end of the week. This was about, this is, by the way, July 20th. Yeah, I just kind of get into the real life application of what occurs if you let your DLI, date last insured pass you by. If you don't know what date last insured is, it applies to Social Security disability, not to SSI, and not to retirement, of course. But it is a critical component of any claim for Social Security disability. And I'm always trying to encourage people to not have it in their back window and to have it prospective. But that's not always possible. But here explains a little bit of why it would be unhelpful to you to have it in your rear window. All right, that's it for the week, guys. I hope you had a wonderful week, and I hope you have a great weekend, finishing up your weekend, and I will see you next week. Have a good one. I will be working from New Bloomfield, PA, part of the week, and then North Carolina the other part of the week. I'll be doing a little traveling for the next couple weeks. All right, talk to you later.